things actually are getting better, I think. And the reason why I say I think is because it's only been 3 full days since I've been back from the hospital, and that simply is not long enough to determine if I'm just temporarily doing better or if this is actually working. So for now, it seems like things are working. It's the start of the fourth day. I still feel good. So fingers crossed. I'm optimistic this time. The last couple of times, been kicked in the teeth, so more cautious now. But yeah, so far so good. As an example, last 4 nights I've been able to sleep very well, and what I mean by very well is compared to the nights that I had for the last couple months. So I've been able to sleep with only one to two pillows and one cushion that I need to place between my knees when I'm sleeping on the side because at this point I'm so skinny that my bones just knock together and it ends up hurting me if I don't have a cushion in between. So, still, 2 pillows or one to two pillows and a cushion per night is very, very good considering the fact that before that I had 2 pillows, 3 cushions. Sometimes I even had to take like the actual cushions from the couch. And those are, as you can see, pretty big cushions. So yeah, the fact that it's just 2 normal pillows is very, very good, even if I do need to use an extra cushion in between my knees. So sleeping wise, things are very good. And what I mean by very good, to kind of give you an explanation, I still would say I wake up maybe an average of a dozen times per night. However, most of it is just because, as I mentioned, I'm super skinny now, so most positions end up becoming uncomfortable after a certain amount of time. So usually it's just about waking up, shifting positions, and then going back to sleep. And I'd say maybe 3 times per night on average, I need to get up to go pee because, whenever I wake up, I take a sip of water because my mouth just tends to get dry during the night. So, even though it probably doesn't sound very restful to most people, and to be fair, it's not, but compared to what it used to be, it really is. Because before, it's like I'd wake up dozens of times throughout the night. There'd be periods where I couldn't sleep. I'd be in pain. I'd have to go to the bathroom multiple times. Sometimes I'm constipated, so I feel like I need to poop, but I'm not able to. And it's just very uncomfortable nights, and I just wake up completely exhausted. Not to say that now I wake up completely refreshed, but I wake up less exhausted than I used to for the last couple months at this point, which is definitely nice. So clearly not back to normal, but definitely heading in the right direction. So sleep wise, things are relatively good. I do tend to be tired during the day, and sometimes I have to take a little nap. And when I go to sleep, really varies. Sometimes it's like 10 p.m. Yesterday was I think 7:30, 8 o'clock. I don't know. And I usually wake up around 8, 9. It really depends on how much sleep I'm able to get, how much or how good the quality of the sleep is, and how rested I'm able to feel when I wake up. And the thing is, like, there is also, in my case, such a thing as too much sleep, too much rest, where I wake up and I'm more exhausted and I'm sore as a result of just spending so much time in bed and the fact that I'm just super skinny at this point. So, yeah, sleeping more is not always necessarily a good thing. So it's kind of having to find that balance between the two. So, yeah, things overall are better. Breathing, mostly better. There's still periods throughout the day, usually nearing the end of the day, where I have more trouble breathing. And sometimes when I have conversations, even though that is getting somewhat easier, there's still sometimes periods where I start feeling out of breath and I just have to end the conversation because I can't keep going because if I do, it's just going to get worse and worse. Um, Coughing definitely better. I'm coughing less. Still taking the cough syrup they prescribed me, and I don't know if it's the cough syrup that's working or the fact that at this point it's nearing the 6 week mark following the radiotherapy, and that was kind of the maximum timeline they gave me to start getting rid of the side effects. So maybe it's that. I don't really know. I'll keep taking the cough syrup for a while just to be safe. So coughing is definitely better, but there are still periods throughout the day where I start coughing. It's still difficult for me to have conversations. Once again, for some reason, recording videos, just speaking is much easier than the back and forth, the stopping and going of having conversations. I still haven't figured out why. But yeah, I'm able to actually have conversations now. So I was able to speak to my dad yesterday. I'm able to speak to my wife again because in the past, like for the last couple weeks, there was a lot of days where it's like we can just speak like 5, 10 minutes because my body can't handle anymore. After a while, it's just like I have trouble breathing, I start coughing, and I just can't keep going because I'll either end up throwing up or I'll be so out of breath that my body will have a really hard time catching its breath and getting back to a space where it's like I feel normal and I don't feel out of breath. So it's definitely been nice to be able to have actual conversations with my wife and speak to my father and, start being a little more social, a little more interactive, which I really haven't been for the last couple months just because I couldn't. So that's definitely nice. Appetite, I still don't have any appetite, still have to force myself to eat. But ever since I started taking the new anti-nausea, anti-vomiting medication they prescribed, haven't thrown up one so far, and it's the start of the fourth day, so far so good. In fact, yesterday I actually had four separate dreams about food, which I think is a good sign. Not to mean, oh, now I'm hungry, but the fact that my brain is starting to think of food again and not being completely repulsed by it, I think is a very good sign. Once again, I'm not really sure what this is a result of. Maybe it's the higher dose of Decadron I received when I was in the hospital. Maybe it's the anti-nausea medication I'm taking. Maybe it's just the fact that it's been almost 6 weeks since I got the radiation and my body is kind of starting to get used to it again, even though I don't think the hunger issues were related to that. I think it's more related to the Decadron and the fact that I'm just addicted to it. And as a result of that, as I'm lowering the dose, my body just doesn't sense hunger anymore. And now that I'm able, because of the new anti-nausea medication that I'm taking, now that I'm able to stay down to zero point 0.5 milligrams per day, that's good because, okay, my body's kind of getting used to it and the hunger seems to maybe slowly be coming back. So definitely a good sign on that front. So it's like everything seems to be heading slowly, very, very slowly, but it all seems to be heading in the right direction. And all I can do is like, all right, let's just focus on the positive, let's enjoy it while it lasts, and let's just keep our fingers crossed that it's not going to do like it did the last couple of times and just after a while just kind of like boop, revert back to, oh, I'm throwing up again and this sucks. So this time I'm optimistic. And yeah, I'm allowing myself to be optimistic for a change, which is weird to say because I'm a super optimistic person by nature, and I think I'm still more optimistic than I would be like compared to most people in this situation. But to me, lately, the last couple of months, I've been like super pessimistic, and I've had like a hard time being trusting of like when things go well of like, oh, okay, cool, things are getting better. There's always like that thought of like, yeah, it's better for now, but it's probably gonna get worse. And it's like that's not like me. And it just feels weird. So it's good to be back to a place where I am more optimistic and I'm able to trust it. So definitely enjoying that. So yeah, not really sure what to expect. Once again, I have no control over anything. So let's just make the most of it while it's enjoyable. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Like it's the start of the fourth day where I feel good. Like not great, definitely not back to normal, but good enough that it's that not every day sucks. Like I'm still not able to go out and go for walks and enjoy the enjoy the outside world, but I'm not in constant pain, which is definitely nice. And, every moment of the day does not suck. Yeah, there's small periods that aren't the best, but overall, the last 3 days and the start of today so far has been really good. So, really happy on that front. Hoping it's going to keep going, and I'm definitely going to keep you updated on everything that happens. And hopefully it keeps being good news after good news after good news. Speaking of good news, my next treatment is going to be next week. So, in a little over a week from now, I'm actually going to know how much I weigh. Because the last time they weighed me, I lost 9 pounds in 2.5 weeks. And since then, I've had, as you know, a lot of issues consuming and keeping food in my body. So I'm sure I lost a ton more of weight. But because for some reason they don't weigh you when you go to the ER, I don't actually know how much I weigh. So I'm going to have to wait till my next treatment where they do weigh you to know how much I weigh. I'm guessing at this point I'm probably down in the 120 pound range, something like that. But yeah, whatever it is, it's definitely the least I've weighed ever. Okay, ignoring when I was just a child, of course, but as an adult, this is definitely the least I've ever weighed. Like when I wake up and I look at myself in the mirror, I'm just like, wow, I'm skinny. Like bone, skin, and zero muscle at this point. Yeah. At least I don't look fat anymore because lowering the decadron has removed that. You know, I don't know. There's a bunch of different terms that I heard, but the moon face, if you will. That's the one that I don't know caught in my head for some reason. But yeah, it's definitely nice to look in the mirror and be like, oh, okay, I kind of recognize myself again. But then at the same time, I'm like, wow, I'm skinny. But it's okay. It's all part of the journey. At least I feel good. That's the most important thing. And then with time, as the appetite comes back and everything, I'll slowly put weight back on, and everything will go back to normal. So it's just part of the process. So yeah, overall, things are going really well. I'm optimistic that things will keep going well, and I'll definitely keep you updated in the future as things continue to go well. Or, not that I hope it, but if it goes badly, well, I'm still going to keep you updated because that's the whole point of this. Just to share this journey, to record everything I'm going through, the experience, whether it's good or bad. But I am enjoying the fact that the last couple of days have been good. That's definitely been very, very nice. And now the moment of truth. Let's see if I missed the button.